I'm having a really hard time walking today. It feels like it feels really difficult to move in not a like a neuropathy, muscular dystrophy, or an atrophy, but heavily weighted on the lower extremities. I try to balance on one foot and the ankle wobbles. The gyroscopy, it feels like, is off. And because of my RAD, which is the rectus abdominis diastasis, it's the my breathing mechanic, my abdominal core has been ripped down to where belly button is about. So it's almost like having a vehicle, like a car, but driving it on the rims, and someone expecting you to drive it on the rims for the next 40 years. So that's a problem. But the core standing on one foot is wobbly. And so I'm watching really carefully because of the health dynamic and the, I don't want to say dysphoria, but dysplasia of the climate and the weather pattern at the moment. Like, I can feel the forces. Like, today they also spoofed on May the 4th be with you, Fourth. But if you use the word force, Force, the weather patterning force, and it's like the centrifugal force in gyroscopy is off. I don't know what this motion is in other people's language, but for me and my building of my one construct, whatever. So this motion is off, trying to stand still on it on one foot and being physically drained the electrolytes to like the electrical component is also off on sparking the myelin fibers in timing and dysrhythmia. So this is like super calisthenics. I think Mary Poppins had a word, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It means nothing to anybody outside of the Disney Princess series that I have a 6 foot over following. For a little lady that's under 6 foot. I mean, I'm 5'6", so. So anyway, I'm watching the calibrations on air wind patterns, trying to pick up on a seasonal or geographical ideology or pattern that's normal. So if something's abnormal, again, I'm just watching trends for mixed in with my health problems that I'm experiencing that the doctor level here is ill-equipped to handle. Let's see. So this is what they're saying. According to Lee Goldberg, because I'm sure he's got his own computer terminal with check boxes for his nightly clicker thing that he uses that he got to meteorology school. So he's the face. Here's the channel. Here's some of the stats. Because I don't know pilots. I'm sure there's a family member who's a pilot that I've never met before somewhere. And maybe one I've met.
For last. Wind is kind of calm, so with the lingering moisture we've had in rain, I can see how there's some low clouds and fog that reform during the overnight hours.
Now, what frightens me is this map. Whatever this means to him, I don't know. I don't know what it's labeled on his map. But what frightens me is I'm somewhere over by the 63 glyph, and it shows patterns this way, this way. I mean, they're counter vortices, like almost like ripping space and time apart I mean, like I talk about, like if I had chicken wire that was supposed to hold me inside like a cocoon almost for a healthy physical into the physique like movement pattern in a fitted articulated way, like glove way of being. It is completely off, whether it's a battle station like argument and they're punishing through weather. I don't know. Is it a war ground? I don't know. I don't have any humans. I mean, there's no super intelligence here other than what's coming through this machine, but it's not like I can have an interaction with it in that it responds. It's just he's stuck in the machine. I mean, he doesn't come out and he doesn't speak. So I can see almost they almost remind me of when let's go down to cellular technology, but in animal cells. When animal cells are going through meiosis, meiosis, one of those. When the centrioles meet at opposite polarities and then they grow telomeres through some telekinesis, whatever, telekinesthetics. It almost feels like there's supposed to be a backup system in like this is I just keep classifying this as a collapsing solar system or a collapsing star system, depends on which area you ask and how broad they go out. But it is just, and I don't know if it is broadcast clearly to other area. I don't know who's in charge of it. But it's almost like this system looks like telekinesis up here. Almost like a backup of like, okay, so if it rips in one area, it's supposed to automatically like have a telekinesis kind of magnetic thing that grows new strands of solidarity and integrity to keep the collapse from going into expeditious whatever or expanding whatever. I feel like that part is failing. Like the backup to the backup. Because, like, I've been in this area feeling a problem since I was a kid. Not as a kid, not knowing really what it was, but being so thin without the obesity or like the adipose tissue added on with whatever chemicals they've put in the food that have been ingested and somehow recalibrated. They call it caloric, they call it joules. I really, again, I mean, I'm in like negative Kelvins at the moment in my irises and I'm not going with the human answers anymore. So it's just, I've got this, and then, I mean, the wisps are just going in so many different directions tonight. And again, I don't know I don't have a gauge for is this at like my feet level if we're on an X and Y axis? I mean, vertical to vertical horizon type of a thing. Or, I mean, then if you put in the Z plane, which works the gyroscopy, again, I don't have the real stuff. I just have my minimal basics. All right, so this is what it looks like on moving picture. But this on a flat picture scares the heck out of me because I can feel it.
It's 55 in Montauk and 54 in Bridgeport. Was struggling with clouds and showers.
But you see how it's like accumulating here? I mean, and then it has this weird apparition. I mean, there's this coming out this way and this way. This is moving. This got a little wiggle in it. I mean, it's hard, and it's hard to see over the yellow and green area. But it looks like it's going that way. But again, here, it looks like cat scratches.
Showers to the north. We have more sun off to the south and west where it's been in the 60s. Low pressure offshore, but then there's a cold front that's making slow but steady progress eastward right now. You see the thunderstorms offshore. So still some showers that have flared up over the Hudson.
And like the thing that bothers and scares me is, are these part of this telecommunication? Because they call my cell phone, they call the black telephone that I use as a camera, and then I push a button and it goes to YouTube, and then I try to store the MP4 from YouTube with an itemized link number that's only pertains to my one situation. I try to take that catalog reference and then move it to my static page at Facebook, figuring one of the corporate CEO whatevers can get the static IP address from that as like one family member that actually cares. And get on the same page. Yeah, it would be nice if we could get on the same page, just the two of us. So this way I could get out of this really painful event. So there's that. So again, I don't know if it's like fiber optics, if it's cross-Atlantic communications. I don't know if they bought different like Roadrunner speeds. Oh, and this is another thing they put up tonight. They put up tonight something's going on with the GWB, which is the George Washington Bridge, upper and lower deck. It was 4 hours earlier, and now the traffic's down to like 90 plus minutes on one deck and something else on the other, which normally I don't follow, but they also normally don't put it on the news. They did just recently, not too long ago, for some other thing about bottlenecks. Hold on, let me get that piece. All right, here's the traffic report.
And we're going to take a live look at the George Washington Bridge, where a major delay headed into New York because of an earlier accident that actually shut down the bridge for a bit this afternoon. Delays have been more than 4 hours now. Now they're just over 90 minutes on the upper level, 45 on the lower level.
So 90 minutes on the upper level, 45 on the lower level because of an accident on GWB.
Whew, aren't you glad you're home watching Eyewitness News? We'll be right back.
It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza. It's Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxies, Broken, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.